Kamala Harris and the sausage brain cognitive tension blacks are treating Jacob Blake as if he is Lazarus of the Bible. And by that, I mean, he gave an interview the other day from his hospital bed, and Kamala was in Wisconsin last week, in Kenosha, and she met. I don't know if she met with Jacob at the hospital, Jacob Blake at the hospital, but she met with the parents of Jacob Blake. I think mainly probably his father, and I don't think his mother actually met. And then the attorney Ben Crump was there. But Mr. Engineer, do we have clip number 2? Let's roll that for just a second.
I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. Your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, could be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my damn stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change our lives out there. We can stick together, make some money,
all right,
make everything easier for our people out here.
Leave
man,
Mr. Blake's
so
photo up as it is and shut down the audio. And I want to ask Mr. Blake a couple of questions. Mr. Jacob Blake, you started out with what would, I guess one would instantly began to interpret as a positive message. Hey, cats and young and older guys out there, there's a lot of life to live, and on and on and on and on. He went, and we can redux that in just a moment to hear exactly what he said. But as a logical thinking person, my question to you, Mr. Blake, is this. You seem to be saying that maybe the young fellas like you and older fellas or older than you don't really realize how precious life is, and maybe we need to, check everything out and do things a little bit differently than what we're presently doing. And if that is what you actually meant, then can I ask you, would you now say that when the police told you to stop, that you should have stopped? When they first drew their weapons on you, you should have stopped. When the police first arrived, whether you were at the scene breaking up a fight between two women, allegedly your women, you went there to break it up. And when the police rolled up, would you do things differently now, Mr. Blake? Are you saying to young men that when the police say stop, or when they draw a gun on you, you don't have the right to just walk away? Is that what you're saying now, that you would do things differently? And Mr. Engineer, would you roll that again? Let's see if we can get that sense from him that he's saying that I would do things the way Pastor Manning says do them now, rather than do them the way I just did them. Let's see if that's what he's trying to say. I don't know, but I'm trying to come up with, is there a sense of contriteness? Is there a sense that he, there's a different way to do this? And should Black Lives Matter stop marching in defense of him and start marching to tell people I was wrong for walking away from the police? Roll it again, Mr. Let's just see.
I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. Your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, could be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my damn stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change our lives out there. We can stick together, make some money, make everything easier for our people out here, man, because there's so much time that has been wasted.
So it appears that he is saying There needs to be a correction of the behavior of the cats and the older dudes. And even for himself, that, you could lose everything just like that. Man, it seems to me he's saying there should be a correction, and that he didn't realize now that he's in the predicament that he's in. And now you can judge this if you like, but it seems to me that he's saying he took the wrong course. And he's trying to warn everybody else, stop doing what I did and stop doing what Black Lives Matter is marching to protest and protect. Stop doing what I did, he said, that we need to do this differently. That's what I get. You don't have to agree. You know what you can do? You can keep the mindset that Jacob Blake had when the police had that gun on him, marched him all the way around that SUV from the passenger side all the way around to the driver's side. 4 police officers got guns on him, and he won't stop. You can keep doing that, homie. You can keep going down that road. But I think Jacob Blake is saying, wait a minute, this ain't the way to get. I want to be able to again to assert my resume. You're looking at a man who, in my youth, and because of my criminal activity, was actually put on the chain gang with a bush axe in my hand. And those are days when we cleaned the irrigation system. There were other days in Florida, we went out, we marched out from the prison, the police officer on a horse with a shotgun, several of them, went into an old cornfield, and we had to glean the corn that was left from the fallen corn stalks in Florida. Now, Florida has a lot of poisonous snakes, especially rattlesnakes. And a rattlesnake, if you look at a dried corn stalk and the dried corn husk ear, a rattlesnake underneath that corn stalk looks just like a corn stalk. And many times some of the men will pick up a rattlesnake, or pick up a snake, not the rattlesnake, but will pick up a snake thinking it was the corn stalk itself. I did that too on the chain gang. But I was able to, with my understanding, remove myself from the chain gang by not acting in anger and blaming the white man, to get a better position of teaching men who didn't have their GED, high school equivalency teachings in the classroom. And my prison guard was so impressed with me as a teacher. Later, after years after I was out of prison, he tracked me down because he knew, seeing me in prison, that I had an extremely bright future. And he asked someone from Atlanta Seminary, have you ever heard about James Manning? He said, yes, he's up in New York. He's always talking about it. And he came to our church and preached in our pulpit to validate all of what I'm saying. But not just that. I went from the chain gang to 12 years later lecturing at Oxford University, where I began to lecture to the elite of the education. I want you to understand something about my pedigree. I'm going to keep putting it out there. Now, having said that, I've lived in Harlem for 40 years. I've fed over 1 million meals. But I want to say with what Jacob Blake is expressing, you young black men and black people and African Americans in particular, y'all have the wrong understanding. You got sausage brain. You're going the wrong way. You have the wrong, brother, this ain't the way. Just like that, you can lose everything when all he had to do was stop. When the police told him to stop, and he could walk now, he's got staples in his stomach, it hurts when he eats. And all he had to do to avoid all of this was stop when the police said stop. But he didn't do that. All you brothers, you African American, you black, you so-called white man against you, and the white man this and the white man that, all y'all got to do is stop that and you can live. That's all he's saying to you. Listen. I raised a question. I pointed out I'm an ex-convict. I've been beaten by the police. The Miami Beach police, believe me, beat me within an inch of my life, required me to be in the Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami for 2 weeks recovering. Then I was convicted of a crime I didn't commit that night. However, what I've been able to do as a result of that is to understand the process of what God can do, that God is a deliverer. So I'm an ex-con. I'm an ex-con, but 40 years now a preacher. So I'm not without the understanding of the black man's mindset. And I'm not a hater of black folk. I'm a lover, and probably the only man that you know that really loves you and tells you the truth. But you know, how many people would Michael Brown have killed by now? Anonymously, we wouldn't know who he was. How many people would he have killed if he's still living? He'd been 7 years after the fact. How many people, because Michael Brown was a thug. How many people would Trayvon Martin? You know, Trayvon Martin tried to ice George Zimmerman. Michael Brown tried to take the police officer's gun. If those people were just able to continue to roam the neighborhoods in Ferguson and Miami the way they generally do, we wouldn't know anything about them if they had not been stopped by. But perhaps, you know, black men kill other black men all day long and nobody ever says a damn thing about it. Michael Brown probably would have. There are probably people alive today because Michael Brown got cut down in the prime in his youth. So you have to begin to look at what Jacob Blake is saying. He's saying, listen, cats, you know, it don't have to be like this. And then but the problem is, will the black man learn? Now, I've stated that I've given a diagnosis of him as having a sausage brain cognitive tension. And that explanation means this. Sausage is made out of bits and parts of the body, whether it be pork sausage, you take a part of the pig, and whether it be the part of his legs, his thighs, and the scraps of meat, and you grind it all up, and you mix it up into what is known as sausage. It's not just a pork chop or a rib, you know, you grind it up because it's just bits and parts or scraps, and you make sausage. Put a little seasoning in it, a little sage, a little pepper, and make some and then put it in some sort of a skin, and it's a sausage. The same thing with turkey. You grab the dark meat of the turkey, you grind it all up, and you put a little seasoning, a little sage in it, and it becomes sausage. What is happening with the black man, the African American man, is that if you look at his cranium, his skull, it is full with content. His head is full with content. But in the most cerebral part of his head, where he should have the process of analysis, of understanding, by saying, listen, if I don't stop, this police is going to shoot me. And since it's my back I got turned to him, that's where I'm going to receive the first bullet, so I better stop. His mind can't process that cerebrally. He can't analyze. He cannot he can't understand that process. You can tell him to stop, but he doesn't understand it. It takes a higher level of thinking process. He needs more brain. Half of his brain works if he's going to play basketball, if he's going to dance, or, you know, then his brain works for athletics. But when it comes to understanding process and the way the world works, his brain, Peter, it's sausage. It's up there, but you can't get the processing of a thought to take him up to a higher level. He's a sausage brain, cognitive tension. And then the other thing, the sausage brain is one thing. The cognitive tension is this. Is that cognitively means you'll be able to recognize or to understand and interpret your world. You know where you are and you know what you're doing. The tension of this is that of the sausage brain black man is that when the police shoots one that is black, and generally in the course of that the black man doesn't stop or respond to authority, he gets shot. The black world explodes. And all of a sudden his rage comes out. He's ready to take to the streets, and he's ready to march and protest and on and on and on, because a black man was shot by the police. But when a black man shoots a 3-month-old baby in the head, or shoots a beautiful young girl in the park, it doesn't cause him to bat his eye. The tension is this, is that how is it that when a 3-month-old baby can get shot and you don't, and Michael Jordan or LeBron James doesn't say a word about that? Is not the life of this beautiful little girl precious? Yet you say the life of a Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown, because it involved a security officer or a police officer, all of a sudden the world should be turned up. There's a tension there. It doesn't make any damn sense. It says that the sausage brain black man, and you can refute this all day long. I'm going to tell you something. If a black man hears about a 6-month or 7-month or 13-year-old girl getting shot, they don't, by another black person, they don't care. They're not going to do anything. You can't arouse them. You can't say, you can't. But if you let a police shoot a 49-year-old black man, they won't, who was doing something obviously had no business doing. They see the marching. It is ludicrous. It is sausage brain. It is incredible. I mean, this is a phenomenon. It's almost like a curse. Don't that 13-year-old girl mean something? Doesn't her life mean something? So Jacob Blake is saying, homies, I had it wrong. I had it wrong. I should have stopped. Just like that, I can't walk. Just like, I guarantee you, if Jacob Blake is saying, if I had it to do over again, I would listen to Pastor Manning. I would listen to Al Sharpton. I wouldn't listen to Black Lives Matter. I wouldn't, and I tell everybody else, get the hell out the street. You're killing us. We're killing each other. Something is wrong with our thinking. We can't think. We got to listen to the one that God sent us to teach us how to organize ourselves. But if I had to do it all over again, ain't no way. You can ask Jacob Blake. Say, listen, Jacob, if you had to do it all over again, would you still not stop? Would you do it? Let's hear what he had to say. Roll him one more time, Mr. Engineer. Ask him, if you had, Jacob Blake, if you had it to do all over again, and that's what Black Lives Matter is saying. That's what the black man thinks in his mind. But Jacob, if you had to do it all over again, and I don't know if we have the police scene of him shooting. We don't necessarily need that. Let's see what he has to say. Here's a word to the rest of y'all sausage brain black men out there. Here's a word to y'all.
I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. Your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, can be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my damn stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change our lives out there. We can stick together.
Please, I'm telling you.
Money,
please, stop Black Lives Matter. Please, stop it. Stop them. Stop them. It ain't worth it. Please, please, please. It ain't worth it, homie. It ain't worth it. It ain't. It can be taken from you just like that. Stop it. Police tell you to stop. You know, even if he's racist or whatever it is, at least you can walk away and you can live to run and to eat in peace without pain another day. You think anybody will hear that message? You think anybody's paying attention to that? I don't think so. Because you have to have a cognitive ability to analyze and reason to be able to make that make sense. And that's the problem. He's got a sausage brain. And he sees everything as everybody else being wrong except himself. He doesn't have the ability to self-examine and understand that if he had just stopped, he'd be alive. If Michael Brown had stopped, he'd be alive. If Trayvon Martin had gone home with his damn Skittles, he too perhaps would be alive, but then who knows? I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I am he. I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.